The greatest eruption in history. It came in 1815 when an earth-altering eruption devastated local regions and also blocked out the sun. This is the eruption of Mount Tambora. Wait till you hear this. The eruption of Mount Tambora in April of 1815 is one of the most cataclysmic volcanic eruptions in recorded history. Located on the Indonesian island of Sumbawa, Tambora's explosion not only reshaped its immediate surroundings, but also had profound and far-reaching effects on the global climate and human history. The Mount Tambora eruption was probably the result of geological activity thousands of years in the making. Tambora sat on the convergent boundary of the Indo-Australian and Eurasian tectonic plates, where one plate subducted beneath the other. Over centuries, magma accumulated within the volcano's massive chamber, and by April of 1815, seismic activity hinted at the growing instability within Tambora. The volcano's magma chamber had become overpressurised with a volatile mix of molten rock and gases. This created conditions ripe for a catastrophic explosion. In April of 1815, Tambora erupted with a force unparalleled in modern times, reaching a volcanic explosivity index VAI of 7. This makes it one of the largest eruptions in the past 10,000 years. The initial eruption released a towering column of ash, gas and pumice, followed by pyroclastic flows that devastated the surrounding region. While there were some warning signs, including smaller eruptions and earthquakes earlier that year, the scale of the impending disaster was beyond anything the local population or even scientists at the time could ever have foreseen. Tambora's eruption expelled an unparalleled 150 cubic miles of ash and debris into the atmosphere, more than 10 times the material released by the 1883 Krakatoa eruption. The ash plume reached an estimated 30 miles, 141,000 feet, breaching the stratosphere and disrupting volcanic particles across the entire planet. Within the immediate vicinity of a few hundred miles, the effects were apocalyptic. The pyroclastic flows and heavy ashfall buried entire villages, killed tens of thousands of people instantly. Those who survived the initial blast faced famine and disease as the volcanic fallout destroyed crops, contaminated water sources and killed livestock. In total, it is estimated that 90,000 people perished, one of the deadliest volcanic events in modern history. The eruption's impact extended far beyond Indonesia. The massive injection of volcanic ash and sulfur dioxide into the stratosphere created a reflective haze that spread across the globe. This phenomena, known as volcanic winter, significantly reduced sunlight reaching Earth's surface and disrupted global weather patterns. The year 1816 came to be known as the year without a summer. Temperatures dropped by an average of 2 degrees Celsius, particularly in the northern hemisphere. The cooler climate led to widespread crop failures in Europe, North America and Asia. In Europe, incessant rain and unseasonable cold ruined harvests. This led to food shortages and famine. In New England, snow fell in June and frost was reported in July and August. China and India also experienced severe monsoon disruptions, exacerbating food crises and spreading disease. The ash from Tambora eventually settled over a vast area, with fine particles travelling as far as the Arctic and Antarctic regions. Heavier debris blanketed areas closer to the eruption site, burying villages under metres of ash. The volcanic aerosol particles remained suspended in the atmosphere for several years, scattering sunlight and intensifying the climatic anomalies. This eruption also produced breathtaking sunsets and a hazy twilight glow observed worldwide, famously inspiring artists like J.M.W. Turner. These atmospheric effects, while visually stunning, were a byproduct of the catastrophe unfolding across the planet. The Mount Tambora eruption was indeed at least 10 times more powerful than Krakatoa was, which erupted in 1883 with a VEI of 6 compared to Mount Tambora's VEI of 7. Krakatoa's eruption, while devastating, released around 20 cubic kilometres of material compared to Tambora's 150 cubic miles. Tambora's global climatic effects were more prolonged and severe due to the sheer volume of sulfur dioxide and ash ejected into the atmosphere. The Tambora eruption profoundly altered human history. It exposed the fragility of societies dependent on stable agricultural conditions. The event also spurred early scientific interest in the relationship between volcanic activity and climate change, and this event is responsible for laying the groundwork for modern volcanology and atmospheric science. In retrospect, the lack of advanced monitoring systems and understanding of volcanic activity at the time meant that Tambora's eruption came with no meaningful warnings. Today, improved technology and geological monitoring could help mitigate the impacts of a similar event in the future. The 1815 eruption of Mount Tambora. This was a natural disaster of unparalleled scale and impact. It devastated local populations, disrupted global climate, and brought about a year without a summer that affected millions worldwide. With 150 cubic miles of ash launched into the atmosphere and a VEI of 7, Tambora dwarfed Krakatoa in magnitude and in consequences. This event serves us as a stark reminder of the power of nature and the delicate balance that sustains human civilization. This volcano's massive sulfate dust cloud enveloped the earth, cooling temperatures and disrupting major weather systems for more than 3 years. Communities worldwide endured famine, disease and civil unrest on a catastrophic scale, all because of the devastating eruption of Mount Tambora in April of 1815.